Hello and welcome to my little portion. I am sorry I cannot be with you in person. If you were there last week, you can tell that I'm recording this the same day. I actually had a migraine last night, and I am surprised that I was even able to present at this because it was really severe. I do still get pain, even though I meditate. And once I encountered someone who was really surprised, remember, this is a step thing. And what I have found with doing practice on mindfulness is that the quality of the pain is different. The manageability of the pain is different. And you'll see, I think, from the data that I'm going to present today, why that happens. The mindfulness really has been shown to make a pretty powerful difference. So you might remember from the second week that I presented this meta-analysis, and the three main things that mindfulness has shown a moderate effect size, something that is a similar effect as standard medications, exercise, and other therapies, is anxiety, depression, and pain. And pain is something that has both a physical component, but also a mental component. On top of the actual physical inflammatory factors that are released into the bloodstream that make you, feel really terrible. You have I feel terrible about feeling terrible. Oh, why me? I hate this. My life is ruined. Those are the things that mindfulness can really help address. So this is the kind of mind over matter element, the brain-based changes that change your relationship with the pain. The same non-judgmental attitude that helps you be friendlier with your thoughts can make you feel friendlier about the state that you're currently in, more accepting and able to take away those added stressors of, this is terrible, which actually increase your stress state, and it's going to release more inflammatory factors and make it hurt worse. There are also direct changes. Your body, especially there's been studies there's been studies on yoga that show that it reduces inflammatory factors. It can change how your endocrine system is responding. And you're also, with doing some of the yoga postures and the breathing exercise, actually strengthening your body and, getting that pain in that direction. So here is a study that is become a real classic in the field. It was done by Fidel Zaidan, who's done a variety of very excellent fMRI studies of people in pain. And in this particular study, he gave such a short mindfulness intervention, just 4 days of training, just a couple sessions and, I think an hour or two a day, learning the breathing exercises and learning how to be mindful. He also had a condition where people were just going to be given a lotion that they told was analgesic, kind of like, something that was supposed to numb your skin and not make you feel so painful. It was really just plain old lotion, nothing in it, but they were told. And so it was a placebo. And then fake mindfulness training, so they were just told to zone out and told, this is mindfulness. So these were people who had never meditated before, so they really didn't know what mindfulness was or wasn't. And then they had a control of just distraction. And they exposed them to a thermal pain while in an MRI scanner. So imagine this, you're sitting in an MRI and it's beep, beep, beeping and it's, loud and uncomfortable. And on top of that, on your wrist is a little watch, but instead of telling the time, it's giving you pain. You can ramp it up. Look at this temperature, and it is not going to hurt you. It can never deliver enough thermal heat to hurt you, but it feels like it might burn you. It doesn't, but it's distressing and it doesn't feel good. And people rated that as, a pretty high. So here you see that in the control condition, it didn't matter. The book listening, if anything, seemed to make the pain, almost go up, but it's not significantly different. And placebos work. So just knowing this, mind over matter is a real thing. Every medication you take will work better if you have a little bit of faith in that medication working. It's why I do the science too. If you know that but there are studies that show, that it works, or even have a nuanced view, you're more likely to, have that extra benefit of mind over matter. And so the placebo works, the fake meditation works a little bit, but the mindfulness, you can see this little double dot here. It's a little more significant. They have less pain intensity, and the pain is less unpleasant. So the unpleasantness of the pain goes down. Again, it's most significant in the mindfulness condition. And in the brain, see this little area of the brain? This is called the insula. The insula is what makes us aware of what our body is doing. And so by training ourselves to be aware of our body and to be able to control our attention and our relationship with our body's pain, that changes the intensity, lowers the intensity, and decreases the unpleasantness of pain. And now you may say, yes, I have physical, you might notice in the survey we put out at the beginning that there's emotional pain and social and physical pain on there. Really, they both use the same regions of the brain. It overlaps. They are different. Emotional pain has, a different set of regions in addition to this, but they both use that insula region, and they both use the emotion region. And that's also something to keep in mind. This study looked at people who had the emotional anguish of PTSD, and these were combat vets. And what they found is adding a mindfulness component to their standard therapy improved their score for week 8, week 16. Their PTSD symptoms had improved. And what I like is that in this paper, this is out of Anthony King's lab. Tony King is a great researcher in this field. I really like his work and his writings. And one thing he put in here is about the fact that they can volitionally switch attention from this kind of, oh, me, this is terrible, this happened to me, this is terrible, to being able to control their attention and just kind of experience their senses, experience their body. This sensation and interoception. So they're switching back and forth between rumination and anxiety. They can have the mental strength through mindfulness training to, okay, I'm not going to go down that road. I'm going to think about relaxing. I'm going to think about, just feeling the sensations without getting carried away. And this is like the third week in a row I've mentioned this, but knowing that the same set of meditators, when you've had some practice, can switch between, blocking out an aversive stimuli and then turning on your emotion towards the same stimuli. You're able to, yes, I feel the pain, but I'm able to pull myself out of it with attention. You have this control of the mind. So just to summarize, you have this mind over matter. You have a sense that yes, the studies have shown that it does work. Ibuprofen works. Mindfulness can work. Different approaches work. Just because I do mindfulness does not mean I did not take naproxen when I had the migraine. This is all about being smart and realistic about doing what works for you, right? Then there's also these body changes. So this is a study I didn't go into a lot, but it showed they actually looked at cytokines, which is an inflammatory factor. This is what an NSAID does. Ibuprofen, naproxen, Advil, Aleve, whatever you want to call it. They're reducing inflammatory factors. Yoga can do this as well. And in this case, they stressed out people with a stressful task, and after doing the yoga they were less stressed. So it can help us ramp down those inflammatory factors which flare pain up. I'm sure many of us have experienced that when we're stressed, the pain, it feels worse. It's because we're more aroused. And so that's all I'm going to present today. I hope you have a great class, and I will see you next week.